The Champions Trophy 2025 is all set to kickstart on February 19 as Pakistan gears up for their first major ICC tournament as host since 1996. On the receiving end of huge criticism from the world media, Pakistan will have a point to prove as hosts of the Champions Trophy. With Pakistan getting slammed left, right and centre over its preparations, me, Aditya, Pimpale and Nikhil Mathur analyse whether Pakistan are ready to host the Champions Trophy 2025 or not. So Nikhil, welcome to the podcast, and as we have seen, Pakistan are hosting the Champions Trophy for the first time in the history, and it is a tournament. They are hosting an ICC tournament for the first time since 1996. So what are your thoughts? Are they even ready to host the Champions Trophy?
I think it's a race against time for Pakistan. I think they will somehow be ready to host the tournament, but if you would ask, are their preparations 100%? I don't think so. It's like, I'll give you an example. It's like a student who has completed his syllabus before the deadline, but like Pakistan is that kid who is still not able to complete their syllabus when the deadline is there. So they have asked ICC to extend the deadline. The earlier deadline was January 31, but they needed some time, and the basic structure is there of all the three stadiums that are going to host the tournament in Pakistan, but they are not completely ready yet.
So you're taking a big dig at Pakistan, in fact, a very big dig to be honest. But, we have seen quite a few viral videos going around as well, where the stadium has been totally exposed. They don't have the facilities as well. So, it's actually a very good truth that Pakistan might not be ready to host the Champions Trophy, and we aren't too far from the opening game.
I mean, it's a game of optics, Pakistan is saying that they are ready, they are releasing videos, then critics are commenting, that this is not there, that is not there. So we don't know the exact picture yet. They have the basic structure. In fact, I saw the visuals of the Gaddafi Stadium. One thing that surprised me was there was this trench right beside the boundary and where the crowd sits. So that was quite interesting. I remember the old days, the Gaddafi Stadium has those what do you call a structure like cage to control the crowd, but now they have placed this moat kind of structure which deters the fan to enter the ground, and they say it's due to crowd control as well as drain management. So trust Pakistan to come with something, I would rather put it, unique.
Well, you are saying unique, but those facilities is already there in some of the European stadiums and Australian stadiums, so them coming in 2025, I think it surprises me a lot, But talking of, the infrastructure and the finance as well, they have been all over the place, It doesn't look like they have everything in place, and we will get a good hint when they come into the Tri-Series, which will start on 7th of Feb. So what do you think about that thing? Are the finances right there as well?
I mean, Aditya, the first thing is they were awarded the rights for Champions Trophy way back in 2021. So you can't blame ICC or any other factor that they did not have time. They had all the time. They only started their work in 2024. So they can't complain that they did not have time. And I believe everyone deserves a chance, because for me and for most of the world, the image of Pakistan hosting cricket matches is sadly the one of the 2009 attack that happened on the Sri Lankan team when they were in Pakistan, and it took them almost more than a decade to get back to normalize, if I could use that word. And then of course teams have traveled to Pakistan, England have traveled, Zimbabwe, different teams have traveled, but now more it's about the image as well. They need to get the image right. They need this tournament to go well. And as you said, financial, there have been, the economy is not in the best of state. There have been political turmoil. Pakistan former captain Imran Khan, who is now also a political leader, the former prime minister, there were some protests as well, and in fact several Pakistani parties said that those protests are not a good messaging ahead of the Champions Trophy, but hopefully things are in better control now. And as a cricket fan, I want this tournament to go well, but Pakistan really have to pull up their socks to host a tournament which is perfect to the T.
Well, you spoke about ICC awarding them the rights way back in 2021. But do you think that ICC should have taken another thought giving it to Pakistan? Because we have seen, they are not yet ready, At least I think they are not ready. And they had better options, They had South Africa, they had England, they had India as well, to host. I think India might not have done because they are hosting the 2026 T20 World Cup. But they had options, Dubai, that is the United Arab Emirates, that was an option as well. So do you think that the ICC has missed the bus there?
I think, Aditya, you are convinced that ICC shouldn't have given the rights to Pakistan. But I would only judge them when they have hosted the tournament. I mean, there's always arguments and counter arguments that should they have been given the rights, but we'll only know. And I think, as you pointed out, I think it's the tri series between Pakistan, South Africa, and New Zealand that will begin this weekend. I think the Gaddafi Stadium and the stadium in Lahore, both the stadiums are hosting the matches, so that is going to give you a good amount of visual representation and how prepared Pakistan is. But what are your thoughts, Aditya? What do you think Pakistan is lacking in their preparation?
Well, if you ask me, lacking of preparation, I think first things first, they are not playing many of their matches at the Gaddafi Stadium. In fact, if they qualify for the final, that is the only time they are playing there at the Gaddafi Stadium. So preparations, the team has been all over the place. Last year they had Gary Kirsten, who has eventually left as well. Jason Gillespie has been in the turmoil as well. So in terms of the team preparations, I don't think so they are in the best of forms. If you talk about the infrastructure, I am not convinced with what I have seen so far. The stadiums are not in the right conditions. I compare them with some of the stadiums here in India. I was recently during the IPL, I have visited 6-7 stadiums, and they were in such a good state of art. They were well developed. They had good dressing rooms as well. And when we see on the television screens as well, some of the stadiums in England, South Africa, they are well prepared. They are well advanced. 10-15 years. You spoke about the drainage facilities in the new Gaddafi Stadium. I think those facilities were already there like a decade or two before other nations already had it. So Pakistan is well behind the time for me, and I don't think so that it's going to be a treat for the fans. I will be very interested and will have a close look how many fans do go to the stadium, because I recently saw one of their series, the England series, which was one of the biggest series, for them, and there weren't many fans sitting in those stands. You are left completely open. There are no roofs in the stadium as well, like it is an open bowl, and which doesn't give a good fascinating feeling if you're sitting there for 8-9 hours in a stadium for a 50-100 over match. So I think, Nikhil, for me, Pakistan are not prepared at the moment.
They need to do better, but again, as I said, I will only judge them once they have hosted the tournament. And of course, they are, as you said about fans, the ICC announced the schedule so late, and the tickets only went online, I think, this week. So a lot of fans who wanted to travel, they have their plans hindered by this because of the late announcement by ICC, and that is due to the conflict between India and Pakistan. And of course, the marquee match is not going to be in Pakistan. The India-Pakistan match, ICC makes sure that the first match of a multinational tournament is, always the India-Pakistan match or the marquee match, which will happen, but that will happen in Dubai. So Pakistan will not be able to host that as well. But yeah, lots of mess there in terms of ticketing, in terms of the schedule, in terms of the preparation. But again, as I said, hoping as a cricket fan, want this tournament to go well, and I really want Pakistan to, project a good image of what happened in Sri Lanka. After that, I think they need to host a good tournament. And you also talk about the team. Pakistan, with Pakistan team, I can give you an opinion about Pakistan preparation for the Champions Trophy, but about their team, if you ask, I don't know which Pakistan is going to turn up. Sometimes I still remember 2017 Champions Trophy final, Fakhar Zaman came in and smashed India all over the place. So with Pakistan team, I have no clue which Pakistan is going to turn up. They are the defending champions, and it's also a big question mark on the Champions Trophy. 2017 was the last edition. India are the host of the next edition, but a lot will depend on how this tournament goes, whether we'll see Champions Trophy in future or not.
In fact, talking of the future, we did not have it for the last 8 years. You spoke about Fakhar Zaman. I still remember Hardik Pandya, that run out, that was very excruciating for me as well. I thought India were making a good comeback. Okay, let's speak about India's thoughts. India have played a key role, Pakistan not getting the entire tournament. So what are your thoughts on that? Should India taken a step back and go to Pakistan, or is it the right decision to, play in the hybrid model?
I mean, these are government decisions. These are not based on just pure emotion, passion for the game. There are issues, much bigger issues in terms of security threat, terrorism, and as well. So I think whatever the government decides, probably will have to stick to that. And this also means that Pakistan is not going to travel to India for the Women's ODI World Cup that is going to happen later this year. But a lot of senior journalists, they have told me stories about how they went to Pakistan to cover the matches, and those stories are like really nice. As a journalist, if the relation between India and Pakistan would have been good, and I would have loved to go to Pakistan, because the stories that the senior journalists and my senior colleagues have told me, they're really heartwarming, because the culture is very same. With Punjab, there were a lot of similarities. You can understand the language, so the sledging game also goes a notch up. But yeah, for India, the cricket team, it is going to be a different tournament. They're not going to visit Pakistan. They are going to visit Dubai and play all of their matches there. So I mean, yeah, it's a mixed feeling. What is your opinion, Aditya?
Just if you ask me, I think it is the right decision that the Indian team has taken and the government has taken, at the moment. Because see, Pakistan need to be tried and tested. If they come out good, they show a good image of themselves, and if it is a successful tournament, maybe the Indian government and the BCCI could think about getting there, going there. And the first step I would mean is to set a junior team, then have another good experience, and then we shall push for the senior team, because getting up a senior team directly going there, I actually don't think so that's going to work at the moment, because there are a lot of political tensions between these two teams. And the big match being played in Dubai, it has been a very good venue, but India don't have a good recent record there. They lost in the 2021 T20 World Cup final as well. It wasn't the final, it was the group stage game, 23rd October, I still remember. So Nikhil, overall, I think the best decision has been made, and the way that things are spanning at the moment, Pakistan need to make sure that this tournament is going to be a big stepping stone for them, and a stage where they can showcase their image, whether they are prepared or whether they are still lacking at the moment. Well, Nikhil, that is the time that we have here for today on this podcast. We will make sure that we will put on all the great things that are coming across the Champions Trophy this time around as well. You stay tuned to all the latest podcasts that we will be making up during the course of the Champions Trophy, where India, Pakistan and all the other teams will be previewed as well. For now, from me and the rest of the team, thanks for joining.